Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Morning Gardener Show. Just had a good day out on my property, looking around, and cutting the grass. And what I said to you earlier, when I cut the grass, uh, I cut the grass and allow the grass. Oh, hello, how you doing? I allow the grass to fertilize my soil. Now today I got there because it's been raining on and off for quite a while, and this time around I found that the grass was close to 3 feet tall in the back of the property. So what I did, I took the riding tractor back there and I rode and cut down a lot of the grass. But I'm gonna to get around the trees and everything because I have about 25 fruit trees on about a fifth of an acre. And so, oh, thank you for the thumbs up. Um, and what happened was the I have to get around it with a weed whacker, and I had one out there because remember I was telling you my neighbors, did me a favor and relieved me of my new one, which I had for 3 months, and then someone stole it and it's gone, and but never forgotten. It just was it was a professional grade uh, weed whacker, weed trimmer. So now I have to find which one I want now, and also get yes, that's the same thing I said when I went to look for it and it was gone. Um, but I have to cut in the far back of my yard because it's just you cut down the weeds, and this method some people call chop and drop. So it lays on the soil the organic matter and it feeds the soil, which is your whole point when you're gardening is that if you feed the soil, you'll benefit and improve your soil each time. Um, my I learned to do that because going to the store and keep buying oh god these expensive bags of fertilizer, it's just crazy to keep doing that. $10 and $12 a pop each time you go. Each time you go. Uh, yeah, the semi-dwarf fruit trees. I didn't buy those. I'm gonna tell you why. And I think I might still have some uh, semi-dwarf fruit trees. Cause let me explain what's going on. I bought all dwarf trees but one, and one is a standard. And I'm afraid of this tree because if I let it get out of control, it's gonna be probably 25, 30 feet tall, 30 feet across. I'm not gonna have that. The semi-dwarf trees, they trust me. If you have room, they get big. They do get big. I mean, we're talking climbing a ladder to get the fruit big. Um, I have dwarf trees for the most part, and the dwarf trees right now, I have one that I can't touch the top of it. It's over 15, 16, maybe 17 feet tall. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't touch it. I cannot touch the tree. So that tree is labeled. It was labeled as a dwarf, and it's a Alberta peach tree. Now let me show you something. On the dwarf tree, this is a peach off of a dwarf. Now this is not in the best of shape. I found it on the tree. It was about to drop, and I lost track of these pieces of fruit. Some of them are soft, got some insect bites on them, but I'll cut around that because I mean, it's not perfect. But look at the size of this peach, and I have some good sized hands. And well, it's not the size of my head, but let's see. We put a battery next to it. This is like a so that's a good sized peach. That's a good sized peach. So here's what I'm doing. Hey, how you doing, brother? Oh man, I'm just taking one day at a time. But I found these out there on the tree, and what shocked me was I found three of them that already dropped, and so when it dropped, I found these on the tree. So the ones that dropped, they already had ants all inside of them, everything eating them. And this was the smallest one that I found on the tree. Now, also found, I went to the back of the property and found some apples. The apple trees had apples that they were dropping. So I said, okay, this is the first time this tree has, um, fruited. And I thought that there was a Honey Crisp apple tree, but then when I looked at the apple, I said, wait a minute, these apples, they stay green. I realized later, okay, these are my Granny Smith. I must have planted them in the wrong location. But um, the fruit trees are doing great, um, and I just love it. I just love it because that only means that next year could be better because this year I got the peach tree that always fruits. Then I got this new apple tree that's fruiting, which happens to be a Honey Crisp. And let me tell you something I did with that tree. That tree was featured in a lot of my videos because I did not dig a hole for it to plant it. I actually just, and because I had so many trees, and this is one that the company sent me, uh, and they said, here, just keep it, don't send it back. Um, I set the tree on the top of the ground, did not dig a hole for it, set it on the top of the ground, put some compost around it, and left it there. And when I came, well, I kept checking on it weekly and noticed that the tree it started leafing out. And then when the tree kept leafing out, what I did was I said, leave it there. This is going to be featured in some of your videos. And so the tree actually rooted deeply in the ground where I couldn't later on, I could not do anything to free the tree up. So I said, let it grow there. See what happens to it. Came back in another 2 months. The tree was getting thick. It leafed out. The roots was absolutely planted in the ground. The tree was where I wanted it. I said, leave it alone. That was the only apple tree that fruited this year because the roots were allowed, I think, to get the proper amount of oxygen it needs. It started out with a bunch or load of compost around it. So there was plenty of food there. And then the roots kept running out looking for food. But when I look at the tree and I grab it by its trunk and I shake it and I said, this tree is seriously anchored in. And it did it all on its own. I love it when nature, the motivated gardener. Hello, how you doing? Um, but, you know, I'm learning as I go along a lot with these fruit trees. One thing that people keep saying is prune them, prune them, prune them. I think that's very important because the only thing I'm going to do to these trees that are out there now is I'm going to bring them down from 17 feet down to maybe 6 feet. And that's going to be the height I'm going to keep them because I refuse to let any tree get so tall that I have to climb up on it. I'm not going to do that. I have a pear tree out there that is about 20 feet tall. It's coming back down to 16 feet. I'll be 6 feet. And I'm telling you, the I'm learning as I go along. The blueberries grew. They did very well this year. The birds got them as soon as they got a little slow size to them. They got them. But I wasn't quite clear why they would eat fruit that wasn't ripe. I didn't think birds did that. I thought they, usually would smell the sugar and then they would go and eat the fruit. But they didn't wait for that. These blueberries were hard and they were green, and the birds ate them still. Excuse me. Hold water. But the raspberries are out there, and they're doing very well. And I'm thinking I better get a hold of them. But they're small, but they're ripe. And I'm thinking, why are they small? So I'm thinking they're not eating properly. They move, and it's amazing about it. Oh man, yeah. Um, it's so many ways that you could go about gardening, and there's no. I mean, some people write books and they put out information, and sometimes they tell you it can only be done one way. And I used to always refuse to let that somebody tell me something like that. And not because I was trying to be difficult, but it was just that I said, no, this can't be right. Because people kept telling me in the beginning, they said, go buy this stuff called soil conditioner. I remember it, orange and white bag. They say you have clay soil, go get that. And I said, something's wrong with this information he's giving me. He works at this store, so he's going to tell me to buy the stuff. I found out years later. And by the way, I did not buy that bag of conditioner. Um, but I found out later that if I just collected my leaves, if I just utilized my grass clippings, if I just used the weeds that are in the yard and make a weed tea out of it, that I was ahead of the game. They don't look. There are people out there that don't want you to do that because they know that if you start doing that, it's going to hurt their sales. Plants were growing on this planet before you and I got here, and they'll be growing long after we're gone. Plants don't need us to help them grow. And a lot of times, the more you keep fussing over a plant, the worse it'll do in some cases. My trees are growing very well, and this year all I did was leave them alone. That's all I did to my trees. I left them alone. I stopped going out there. Now the apple trees, I did remove large groups of apples, and I made the apples 10 inches apart. I want to see how big could you get an apple if you just remove the apples and and spaced them 10 inches apart. And the apple that I ate earlier today was big. It was a big apple, and I wish I would have filmed it. No, it's on the video I just uploaded, and the apple was good. It was sweet, and it was sour at the same time. Well, of course, it was a Granny Smith, but I enjoyed eating fruit from my own trees. It's just a wonderful feeling to put in the effort and then to enjoy what you grew. Could anyone type up or give me what did they grow this year? What did you grow this year? Anyone at all? Not all at one time. Okay. Oh, okay, cucumber. Oh, once again. Let's see. Now I got to tell you, the cucumbers I had a lot of fun with this year. Had a lot of fun with the cucumbers. I had a lot of cucumbers, and really I don't eat cucumbers, but when I put them in salad, I like them. When I put them in salad, I like the cucumbers. Oh, sweet potatoes. How did they turn out? And wood chips only. I did that with white potatoes one time. Didn't turn out that good. Sweet potatoes. I planted some sweet potatoes. They're still out there. I don't know what they're doing. I haven't checked on them. Okay, cucumbers, tomatoes, eggplants, herbs, sweet potatoes, uh, purple and red fingerlings. Okay, okay. 30 pounds in a 4x4 box. 30 pounds. That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. I know you did some videos on it. I know you had to do some videos. 30 pounds, and also the gardener that did the cucumbers and tomatoes, eggplants. I know you did some videos on it. Oh, okay, okay. I'm gonna go check that out. I'm gonna check that out. I like to see people do. I like to see people successful. I like that because that means that it can be done, and we got to run these high price food vendors out of town because they selling us food that's expensive and it's very low quality. We got to grow as much as we can. Oh, okay. Bell peppers. Then what are you going to do with ghost peppers? I heard nobody can eat them on Earth. Nobody. I'm just kidding. Sweet potatoes were huge. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, then you said your sweet potatoes were huge. What did you put in the ground to get them that big? And you can be honest with us. If you use man-made chemicals, that's I don't knock people, but if you use compost, if you use um, horse manure, whatever, let us know. Also, um, lead farmer 73. Tell me what did you do to the soil to get 30 pounds? Tell us what you did. Oh, okay, okay, okay. All right, okay. I forgot. Some people do not share their secrets on what they do. Okay, yeah. You know something? I used to do that, and then something. I said, wait a minute. I said, wait 1 minute. I'm still gonna be able to grow my food. It's just they'll be growing their food, and they'll be doing it better. Because we're in a country right now where it's just messed up, and uh people right now are hurting bad. And it was like I'll give you an example. There's a gardener. He comes on there. He's got all these great kids and everything, and they're on there, and he had bad luck with the his watermelon. He was cutting them open, and it was all white inside with very little red. And the only thing I did, I threw some of my knowledge his way because I said, oh, okay, eggplants, okay. Um, yeah, some people do overwater. I used to do that. That's one of the main things they found that most gardeners do is they overwater. And me, I used to overwater, and then I got to the point where I try to mimic how nature would water. It doesn't water sometimes every day. It might water every 3 days or once a week. And something else I want to throw your way is this: if you want a really good tasting pepper or tomato, do this. Wait 2 or 3 or even 4 days before you pick it and don't water it. It'll really concentrate the flavor. Give that a try if you haven't tried it already. Let's see. Yeah, he did. He had a rough time with the melons. Sorry, got sidetracked. And I told him, I said, listen, I said, I need you to go in Department of Agriculture in your area, find out what melons grow well in that area. Talk to gardeners in your area, find out what they're growing, find out how well they're doing with it, and just, you know, share that information because you may be growing the wrong melon in that particular location. So he hit me back and said, "Thank you very much. I'm going to look into that because I used to do it. I used to go and buy tomatoes offline, and those particular tomatoes didn't do well in this climate. It would say that it worked in zone 7, but I found out that if I contacted gardeners in this area, that they were doing tomatoes for like 10 or 15 years in this area, and they only grow one type of tomato or 3 different types of tomatoes that do well here. those type of tomatoes I definitely want to grow because they're known for doing well in this area. Also, good people out there, I need you to save your seeds. Save your seeds. Save your seeds because you when you do that, they're already familiar with your soil. When you put them in next year, they won't do anything but just start growing instead of having to adapt to your soil. They won't have to do that. They will just start growing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Morning Gardener Show. I got to go, but I really appreciate all of you tuning in. I mean, I really do. Thank you very much. This has been the Morning Gardener.